Welcome to the DM Formula training. If you are in the Fast Start guide of your funnel team training system, and now you're watching the DM Formula, it is because you want to know how to have conversation, how to close sales, how to have leads to your phone in real time from the app, and then be able to close those leads, close those sales in real time. Now, if you are on the DM Formula, that means that you've set up your accounts, you have content going out for video production, faceless, non-speaking, whatever the lane you choose. And now you're getting leads to your phone. Now you're having people direct message you, say they're texting you, say you're having inquiry for how does this work? How do I get started? What does this mean? And this training right now for the Fast Start Guide is where the rubber meets the road for that, as far as you using formulas for how to talk, how to communicate, how to ask certain questions, and how to lead a conversation to a result of your liking, meaning sales, meaning impact, meaning you being able to grow and build out your business effectively. So what that means for you is if you're on this video now within the funnel team training system, you're watching the DM formula, I want you to know with the utmost clarity that everything we're about to discuss, please take note of. Please print out for the link below. Just barely below this video, there is a document that is shared for what I will discuss today. Feel free to print it out. Feel free to copy and paste it into a Word document. Take notes on it. Write it down on your notebook, whatever it is. Because I promise you, as you implement these strategies for what we're going to talk about inside the DM formula, 3 sections that we're going to discuss now, it will make you incredibly great money, and it will drive some insanely good impact for those you communicate with within this business, about this business, how to effectively posture yourself, have confidence, and then in turn, close the sale, making more money. Now, everything that we're about to discuss is my proven work, my proven strategies over the last few years for what's made me the #1 earner in all the companies, everything that we've done, which means you might want to consider doing the things that we talk about. Now, inside of this playlist, the playlist that you can see below this video, there are multiple trainings for when we've taught this live. So feel free to reference those as well if you want to increase your way and your power in using and implementing the DM formula. The playlist is below this video, just like the document I'm about to share is below this video. Feel free to print it out, use it, write on it, whatever you need, whatever works best for how you communicate and how you understand things, okay? Now, inside of this that I'm going to share with you now, all right? If ever this looks different, it is because we are adding to it. And if ever we have feedback that for this long-standing evergreen training from the DM formula, from the Fast Start Guide inside of your TFT training, if ever it looks different than what you're seeing on my screen, please just know that this is meant for you to implement, regardless of if it looks a little bit different than what I'm sharing now. The only reason it would look different is because we're adding to it. We're altering and magnifying what's working if ever it does change. It may not ever change, but if it does, just know that's okay. All right. So the DM formula. What is a DM formula? DM meaning direct message. It's you direct messaging through text, through your app, through private messages on social media, through emails, any form of direct communication. This is what it stands for. It's your guide or your formula to landing those engaged leads, closing sales, and making commissions as a representative within TFT. Okay. When you're going to use the direct message formula, always, it's a joke, but it's actually serious. Before and after live webinars, we have those currently at the time of this video twice a week. Maybe that's changed. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less, depending when you watch this video. But we have live webinars. We have replays on those webinars. In the comments on your social media posts, in direct messages, text, and app notifications. Anytime you are in a one-to-one conversation, in a direct comment, in communicating with someone about this business, that is when you're going to use the direct message formula. So take to heart everything that we're about to discuss, because it is going to be super, super lucrative for you, meaning money, meaning impact, meaning drive for closing sales, for communicating effectively and attracting the right audience. Okay. Now, when to use the DM formula, you can lock and load that. Just know that it's always in a direct communication with anyone, whether a comment or a message on the back end, like a text. Okay. Want to go over some crucial quick tips and tricks, kind of like an overview, because I want you to understand in these 3 sections what it is we're talking about. So up to this point, we've talked about the overview of what the DM formula is. In a minute, we're going to go to the second section of how to maximize direct messaging, direct communication through the webinars, replays, and someone attending live. And then the last section, we're going to talk about how to use those types of things through social media posts that maybe land on a replay, from a live webinar from this week, or something like the all-in-one funnel, which is located again in your Fast Start guide under the setup section, okay? When a person hits your link, workwithbillybob.com, whether it's the live training, whether it's the replay from this week, where we taught live within our team, or it's something like the all-in-one funnel, or another one, depending which you select, you are going to get people engaged. You're going to have people wanting information about what it is you do and how this at-home business works. And the direct message formula, what we're talking about now, is going to be used to communicate and to converse with people to gain sales and gain impact. All right. So, crucial quick tips and overview for this first section. As you can read here, the DM formula is used when you have leads and are talking with someone who's curious about what we do. It's just a way of direct messaging, a way of direct communication. It's also the way to get leads to market. Okay. You're marketing through social media platforms, through social media content. Leads lead to conversations, which lead to sales. Leads turn into conversations, which lead to sales. Okay. How you get leads is by doing short form video content. How you get conversations is by following the 4-point formula, which is under the Fast Start guide. How you get sales is by having conversations using this formula here that you're seeing now and walking through now with me for talking, communicating effectively. All right. If you want more sales, focus on how you're corresponding with your leads, which is what the DM formula is. If you do not have leads, focus on the short form video content and answer these 3 questions. Are you truly following the 4-point formula? Are you posting consistently? And are you using the right structure like hashtags, caption, and commenting back? If the answer is yes to all 3, increase your focus on short form video content. Then you'll get leads. When those leads hit your funnel and you're able to communicate with them via text, via email, via direct messaging, via your phone, because of the app it's set up, this DM formula we're talking about now is then going to be the indicator for how to talk with those people, how to answer questions, how to assume the sale, and how to get the sale. All right. If you're not taking notes yet, I encourage you to do so because we're about to go into step 2, which is going to be pre-webinar and post-webinar, how to communicate for someone to get on a live training that we have and how to communicate for them to watch the replay to get involved with this business. Don't take out pen to paper if you haven't already. The DM formula is about to explode. Okay. Now listen, this right here is specific to your webinar section. What that means for you is on the weekly webinars that we have current to right now at the very beginning of May 2024. Again, this may have changed. If it did, no problem. Just understand the concepts and the ideas we're talking about now are still applicable. It just might look different if we implement or do something different later on beyond May 2024. We are doing 2 weekly webinars every single week. And those webinars are going to be updated inside of your funnel team training system from the setup section when you select your funnel. So you have your GoDaddy domain, you select your funnel. If you have your funnel going to a timely and expiring webinar, then you're going to want to use this section here, how to communicate with leads, how to produce the right short form video content to get people onto that webinar live. And then here in a moment, we're going to talk about how to then maximize the replay, which will be in your funnel team training section inside the Fast Start guide for the funnel replays, one from me and one from Daniel. Again, currently, those are the 2 that we have. Eventually, we will have other people host, and that will implement and change over time as well. But currently, beginning of May 2024, twice a week from me and from Daniel, and eventually added more or less over time. Okay. So if ever that looks different, just know that's okay. Now, we're doing weekly webinars. We are able to close more sales. It's literally 12 times higher closing more sales in a live training than it is on a pre-recorded video sales letter or VSL. That's why we do live webinars. That's why you're going to use the DM formula for getting people on the webinar or maximizing the replay and having them go to the replay after the fact. All right. The DM formula when you're using webinars, whether before, during, after a webinar, is discussed right now. Okay. The other reason we use webinars, live webinars, and maximizing the replay for those webinars each week is because it allows you to stand up from the side hustle industry. It is your way of branding. You might not be the one teaching the webinar, but if you get 10 leads there and you close 3 every single week, that's a potential of $1,200 every single week that you're making, and someone else did the selling and telling for you, right? So if and when you're using your short form video content and you're wanting people to get on a live training and you are there too, and you're helping them understand the business, and then you ask for the sale afterward, it will be because you understand what the DM formula is and how to best communicate with that person. Okay. For both live webinars and for the replay of those webinars. Okay. As you can read here, the intent of 2 weekly webinars, again, that may increase or decrease depending if we change that beyond May 2024 at the time of this video when I recorded it. The intent of 2 weekly webinars is to give current leads more insight live. So if you have current leads in your app, if you have a certain person you're talking to now and they want more information, they want to understand it better, you can invite a current lead to a webinar that happens twice a week. You can also tell them to watch a recent replay if they cannot attend the live training, okay? It's a way for you to have content that draws in your leads, and it's showing face and proving consistency. Again, maybe you're not the one hosting the webinar that happens every single week. You're not the one presenting. That's okay. You don't have to be. But if you get leads there and then you let the host close the sales doing the heavy lifting for you, then you're going to be able to increase your value in the marketplace. You're going to be able to increase how many sales you get every single week. Okay. Here are the 2 registration links. Okay. Don't need to go over that. You guys can read it. Right now, currently, again, at the time of this video recorded at the beginning of May 2024, we have Mondays, every single Monday hosted by me at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then we have every single Thursday morning hosted by Daniel every single Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. If ever that changes, we will make sure that this doc is updated. If ever it looks different from what my words are saying out of my mouth compared to what you see on screen from the red button below this video, just know that obviously it has changed. It's implemented and become better for whatever reason we've decided, okay? So those are the 2 registration links. You can go to this website, but here's the direct link if you need it, or this website. And again, here's the direct link if you need it. Now, right here are videos to clone and mimic. The way to get leads on a webinar or to maximize the replay is going to be found here. You have after a webinar, hey, catch the replay, catch the replay. You're following the 4-point formula, which is taught in the Fast Start Guide Part 2. And you have before a webinar as well. You also have engagement posts. Say you want to post something on Facebook and have people comment and go to a live training or get a replay. All of that you're able to use from your TFT training inside of the setup section inside the Fast Start Guide. There's going to be a timely replay, and there's going to be the ability to get people on the live replay by going to one of these links, okay? So people being able to get on a live training is going to be based on you cloning what works here, which means before a training happens, you can clone these types of videos here for faceless, speaking, non-speaking. And for after a training happens, you can maximize the replay. Again, that funnel is in your Fast Start Guide under the setup section. You can maximize the replay by cloning videos here. Now, these all have, say, a dozen or so videos inside of them for things that you can mimic, things that you can clone. Let me be very crystal clear. Don't just take the video and do the same thing over and over again. Take the video, say it different. Take the video from one of our featured people. Take the video for what they're saying of get the replay or come to my live training, implement it and do it yourself with your own voice, your own shirt, your own flavor, and then do it again and again and again. Because if there are only, let's say, an average of a dozen videos inside of all 6 or 7 of those folders, eventually having two trainings a week and 2 replays that you can constantly send out to people Eventually, it's going to be that you're going to run out of clonable content, right? Wrong. You're able to take a video, one of the dozen per folder, and do it in your own way. Do it with a different type of video. Do it with a different shirt on. Do it with a different phrase being said. Reorder the video. Just make sure that you're following the 4-point formula, which is in the Fast Start Guide Part 2, that 4-point formula. Now, want to be crystal clear on that because I don't want you to just mimic what's there and then say, oh, I don't have enough information. I don't have anything else to clone. You do. You just need to maximize what's there in your own way, your own spin, different shirt, different background, something else that makes it a different video. Okay. But you have the resources to do it. Just trust yourself. Now, when you go to this document, if ever you print it out, obviously this right here is a hyperlink. You're not going to be able to click it. If you print it, just know that you can go to this document anytime, be able to click that. You could even bookmark this. You could save it. That way you have the clonable content at hand pretty easily. Now, moving on. I'm not going to read all of them. You guys can do that, but I'm going to give you the flow of what is next so you understand it a bit better. For current leads, if you already have Billy Bob, a lead on your app, a lead on Facebook, direct messaging, whatever it is, and he wants more information. He is a person who hasn't gotten into the business yet. He's had lots of questions, whatever it is. You can use one of these types of phrases. Again, pick the one that you like. Pick the one that you like that sounds like you. Feel free to edit and change it up the way that you see fit. Hey, Bob, Kirsty here, thought of you. I'm holding a live training tomorrow about, right? It's on May 7th. Do you want to come, right? The worst that Billy Bob could say is no, but if you follow up with current leads that you have, then you're able to have a direct conversation, invite them personally. They feel taken care of, they feel cared about, and then you're driving more impact, which in turn would lead to a sale, okay? So for current leads, for someone who's already hit a different funnel, for someone you're already messaging on Facebook, you've already emailed, whatever it is, you are able to use these examples here. Again, feel free to edit and change the way that you see fit. It doesn't have to be cookie cutter. Please edit the way that your voice is. All right. For new leads. So let's say Billy Bob hits your funnel with the replay webinar. You would acknowledge, say, hey, Billy Bob, Kirsty here, excited to chat with you about working at home. There's a webinar tomorrow night. Do you want to attend live, right? Let's say they hit a different funnel, the all-in-one funnel. So they haven't watched a replay, they haven't seen a webinar, they don't even know it exists. If it's timely and you would like to invite this new lead to a webinar that's happening tonight, that's happening tomorrow, whenever it is, you can use one of these 3 examples for that, okay? Right here, if someone asks if there will be a replay, you guys can read this. This is generally what I say for someone who's commenting in a public forum. So let's say I post on Facebook. If I could teach you how to make $3,000 a month working at home through an app, would you want to come? And I have Billy Bob and Helga and Henry respond and say, yes, I want to. But they all say, is there a replay? I can't come tomorrow. Then you can use one of these examples here under exclusive, important, or takeaway for how they could still get registered, for how it's important to be registered, and you're making the urgency high for them to be there. If they absolutely cannot, then you can use this one here. Hey, I don't know if there will be a replay, but registrants will be first, they'll get first dibs if there is one. So do you want to get registered? Then Billy Bob responds back, says yes. You pull him in a direct message, you send him the link to get registered, and then he will get a follow-up email about the replay as soon as it goes out. We will do that email marketing for you, okay? Now, urgency in getting in now, you guys can read this. I don't need to read it verbatim. If you have a lead who is saying that they're so interested, they already have a bit of information, they don't want to wait till tomorrow or Tuesday or whenever it is to get in on a live training, you can use one of these examples here. Now, you don't have to do that. You don't have to try to be urgent and close the sale that day. If they want to attend live and it's 3 days later, that's okay. But understand, if you feel good about leading them to closing and being in faster, then you can use one of these examples here, okay? Now, once they are registered, you will say, awesome, I have you on my roster. The point of a roster, as you can see here, is to be in direct communication. If you do a post on Facebook or you do a short form video and you say, hey, teaching live tonight, how to make $100 a day. Do you want to come? and someone says yes, and all you do is send them the link, there's no way to track that they found you. So you need to do your own tracking, so to speak, by pulling them in direct message, giving them the link after they admit they want to come, that they can, that they'll show up. I would discourage doing it in a public forum. Here's the registration, being spammy, because you want it to be a one-to-one conversation. Okay, write that down if you're a note taker. It's super important. Don't just spam them the link in a public forum. Please pull them in a direct message. Then after they say, yes, I want to get registered. Yes, I want to go. Yes, I will be there. Then give them the registration link. Okay. Once they are registered, hey, I have you on my roster. Talk to you tomorrow or whenever it is. Cool. I'll send you a reminder 15 minutes before so you can get a spot. The day of, you can say, see you in 10 minutes, see you in an hour, see you whenever you want to follow up, so that they know, hey, I'm thinking about you. I'll see you soon. Okay. Again, the point of a roster, just to expand on that a little bit more, you really want them to know that you're the point of contact, because inside of our live trainings and inside of our replays, we will specifically say, get back with the person who invited you here. And if in a public forum, you're saying something like, go to this link, get registered. How do you know they got registered unless they tell you? How would you even keep track of that? You probably wouldn't be able to. So make sure to pull it in a direct message, hence the DM formula, where you're using the formula to communicate directly. Okay. Not only will that be obvious that you're the point of contact, but you can follow up after the webinar. You can acknowledge them during the webinar. If they're catching the replay, you can have them say, yep, I can watch it tonight at 5, and you can send it to them at 5 through the funnel, right? Where it's a timely replay. They still have the same call to action. It's your button that they can select and you could get the affiliate commission for. But if they don't know you're the point of contact because you did it in a public setting, you never pulled it in a direct message, that's going to be harder for you to close sales. Okay. Write that down if you're a note taker. Now, right here, for me personally, I like doing this because I like them to know that I expect to see them there. See you in 10. Are you in the waiting room? You're assuming the sale, things like that. Okay. I love those 3 examples there. During the webinar. Now, if you cannot make every single webinar that we have, don't stress. During the webinar, you do not have to be like, hey, Bob, I'm glad you're here. It's a great way to acknowledge them, yes, but please don't think that now for forever, more or less, if ever we change it beyond May 2024, it's not that now or forever you have to be at a webinar on Monday at 8 and that you have to be at a webinar on Thursday at 10. No, if you have leads who are coming and you're able to attend too, that would be awesome. If not, be sure to follow up with them before and after as you're able to. But remember, this whole entire business is meant to work for you, for your schedule. So don't think you have to show up to every single one. Just know when you should follow up. If you knew that a lead of yours, Billy Bob, Helga, Henry, whoever, was showing up at the webinar tomorrow or Thursday morning or whatever it is, that way you can have more sales and more traction. If you're able to make the webinar, then here's some examples. Okay, during the webinar, you acknowledge that they're there. Hey, Billy Bob, glad you're here. Glad you could make it. You can send them a text during the webinar of excitement, something that was said. Just have a way of engagement in some type of way, like you can see these 3 bullet points here, okay? Following up after a webinar. Once the webinar is done, you can say something like, hey, Billy Bob, stoked to get you rocking. How can I help you get started? Or what questions can I answer for you now? Or what time are you opting in tonight, or enrolling, or purchasing, whatever word makes sense for you. Billy Bob, glad you made it. What level are you purchasing tonight? Or something like, hey, awesome having you there. Are you ready for my enrollment link? Now, these 5 examples are pretty to the point. That's how you assume the sale. You ask for what it is you want. Feel free to edit and change them the way that you see fit. You do not have to be as direct if you don't want to be. But again, me doing this DM formula, giving you everything that I do, which is why I can be number 1 in enrollments, is because what you see on this screen works. So feel free to edit it the way that you see fit, and also be okay to assume the sale. Be confident in your questions after a webinar, after they watch a replay, because you want them to know you have their back, that you're paying attention. Okay. Now, right here, Quick recap for webinars, okay? Then we're going to move on to the next section that's more general instead of just webinar specific, okay? Quick recap for webinars. When sending people the link, you can type it out so it's easily read, easily remembered, easily written. Capital N for Monday, capital E for evening, capital C for call. You get the picture. And then in a direct message, if you send it to too many people, you don't have to worry about them being able to click it. You can say, hey, go there manually. And then they can get off, say, a Facebook platform, Facebook Messenger, for example. They can type it in themselves. If you capitalize the beginning letter of each word, they're able to then write it, remember it, and read it more easily. Okay? Just a quick tip. They should be able to click on it wherever you're sending. But if for some reason they cannot, or you get blocked, you can't send a link, then you can always have them go there manually. Okay. Don't comment back with the link. As a recap, please don't do it in a public forum. Pull them intentionally in a direct conversation one-to-one. And then last, having them admit or send a picture of their registration, adding them to your roster, so to speak, allows them to know that there's accountability, that they're paying attention. And then on your end, if they go take a screenshot and they say, yep, I'm registered, here's my registration, that's just another way of you having a quality lead because they took that one more step to say, yep, I'm coming, yep, I registered. Okay. For those on a replay, say they can't make Monday ever, say they don't want to attend Thursday morning or whenever we do them, if ever that changes, you can always say, and you should, don't just spam them the link for the replay. Make sure to have them admit when they want to watch it. Now, let me unshare because this is an outlier to what I just said. If you're using the webinar funnels from me or from Daniel, and that's your main thing, you don't have people attend live, it's just your jam, for example, to say, live training, do you want the replay? You're following the formula for that in short form video content. It's okay to have the public forum be go to replaywithbert.com or whatever it is, okay? It's okay to have that be public because that person, when you're using the funnel team funnel for the replay, whether from me or from Daniel being the host, it's okay because that is going to hit a capture page. The capture page is going to collect their name, number, and email, just like any other funnel would. And then they're able to watch the replay. You, if you have it attached to your app, would be able to follow up with them in real time. That is the only time. If you're only focused on doing the replay, you send out the replay. Yes, you can pull it into a one-to-one conversation. Of course, we love that. You close a lot more sales being personal with that. But if you're posting a short form video content on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and you get a bunch of comments from this video that says, hey, live training, do you want the replay? It just went out. It's okay if you have 100 comments, and it's okay if you respond to those comments saying, go to work with Bert or live training with Kylie.com, because that person who gets the comment is going to enter in their name, number, and email anyway, and you'll be able to talk to them anyway, because it's just a normal funnel at that point. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now, in sharing my screen again, the webinar replay. This is the third section. So this goes for webinar replays. This goes for live replays, the normal funnel, like the all-in-one funnel. This is the section for that. This is the last thing of the DM formula, okay? Words like, have you seen my overview? Have you seen my tutorial? Have you watched the presentation or the walkthrough about this? Even the word replay are all referencing the TFT funnel that, yes, is set up inside of the funnel team training system under the Fast Start Guide section. If you have the webinar replay going out from your domain from GoDaddy, if you have the all-in-one funnel, if you only focus on live videos, whatever it is, these words, overview, tutorial, walkthrough, presentation, replay, they all mean the same thing. It's just the video sales letter inside of the funnel that you're using, okay? We just use different words because it entices a different audience and it means something different per who you're marketing, okay? Quick tips about the webinar replay, the normal funnel, the live replay. This is all encompassing. It's more of a general aspect to it. The DM formula is meant to have you be a normal person. Please don't sound like a robot. You're not a customer service representative. So make sure to tailor and edit things and how you communicate to how you normally would talk to a normal person at the grocery store or at an event for your kid's school or your neighbor across the street. Don't treat it like customer service. Just have a conversation. Okay. And then last right here, I said, try again. It's okay to have conversations go to nothing. It's okay to be ghosted. It's okay to say something and feel like a dummy and feel like you botched it. Try again. Because the more that you can converse with people, the more leads that you can generate based on your short form video content, based on comments, based on responses, based on direct messaging, the better you're going to get at it. So please understand that you've got what it takes, but you've got to keep rebounding your ball. You've got to get better by doing it and doing it and doing it. Okay. And then last little tip, as you can see here in yellow, recall what was said to you or given to you when you got involved. What process did your sponsor take you through that allowed you to say, yep, I'm getting involved, send me the enrollment link? Whatever that process was, do your best to recall that, to not overcomplicate it, to keep it simple and replicate that same thing. Don't overcomplicate it, just keep it simple. What questions, what conversations happened? What did you see? What did you hear from the person who enrolled you? And how can you replicate the simplicity of what they did? Try to do that, okay? Replying to social media comments, here are 3 examples. Of course, feel free to edit it if you are, focused on doing the replay. If you're focused on the normal, something like the all-in-one funnel, you could say, Bob, awesome, complete work at home position. Watch through my replay, my live training from yesterday at blah, blah, blah.com, whatever your domain. You can change these words to fit what it is you're focused on. So if you want to consistently be marketing for a recent replay, then obviously it could say something like, watch my overview or watch my live tutorial or catch my replay at whatever it is. So feel free to edit it. These are just 3 examples. Okay. Bob, go to workwithbert.com. Let's chat directly. I'll text you, right? Because when they hit your funnel, whether it's the webinar replay, whether it's all one funnel, whatever it is, that person, Billy Bob, is putting in his name, number, and email, which means you're going to get notified on your app if you have that set up through your app. So there's 3 examples of communicating through your app. This document right here, clickable, goes to quick replies for more examples on communicating from your app, text, and email. Feel free to check that out as well. These right here that we're about to discuss are 3 questions I personally almost always use when talking to someone, whether they text me directly, I get notified in my app, it's an email, it's a direct message on Facebook, it's a comment on YouTube, whatever it is. These are questions I almost always ask. The only time I don't is if I'm flooded with messages. I won't converse back and forth. I will pick and choose who I want to converse back and forth with. If that's you, you have leads out of your ears. It's okay. You don't have to ask these questions. If you do, and you need the practice, which all of us do, then it's great to ask these questions because it allows the person to want to respond to you, to know that you're a real person and that you're not just there to spam them a link, but that you want to hear from them. It also sets the premise for them responding. If you just hurry up and spam a link, then they have no reason to respond. That's not the first impression they get. So if you want them in the mood and in the reason and in the knowing firsthand that you want to communicate back and forth, then ask a question. Okay. Here are 3 questions. Hey, Billy Bob, thanks for reaching out. Excited to chat with you about working at home. How much extra are you wanting to make each month? I love that question because when I ask that and I get a response like, I just need to make $300, I know for sure they're not going to want to buy, or more than likely, or they're not in a position to buy. Someone who wants to make $1,000 or more dollars is probably okay investing into this business because of their answer. So it allows you to know where their mindset is around money. Okay. Then from there, you can use, hey, Billy Bob, good to chat with you about this. What has you looking for an online job? Because the intent of asking something like this is for them to say, hey, Kirsty, thanks for reaching out. I am in so much debt. I'd really like to contribute more to my husband, whatever it is. That allows you to get to know them, which means you're developing a relationship. Okay. And then last, hey, Billy Bob, thanks for connecting with me. Good to chat directly. Have you seen my business overview video? Now, this one here can be altered and tailored to if you're promoting the all-in-one funnel, for example, a different funnel that's not a live webinar. You can also say, have you seen my recent replay? Have you seen our live training on this? Something like that. You could also say something like, hey, Billy Bob, thanks for connecting with me. Great to chat directly. We're teaching on this live tonight. Do you want to come? Right? There's a way to have you implement what result you're after. You just need to be aware of how to edit that for your personal conversations. Okay. After sending them the overview, meaning the all-in-one funnel, the webinar replay, if it's an hour, etc. If it's the webinar replay and it's about an hour long, you're going to want to say, I'll follow up with you in an hour, not 15 minutes, right? So alter and edit the way that you see fit. The reason you say these types of things and the reason you follow up is because you want to be able to close the sale. You want to be able to drive more impact. So be sure to be using these, setting the premise, the impression, the knowing that you're going to follow up. If you never say, I'm going to follow up after they say, yep, I want the replay. Okay, here you go, Billy Bob. And then they just don't know you're going to follow up. Then it's awkward for you to follow up, right? Because you didn't tell me you were going to follow up. Oh, cool, Bob, you're watching it now? Great, I'll follow up with you in about an hour. And when you follow up in that hour, not only is it not awkward because you already told them that you would, but now if you say something like this third one here, what questions can I answer for you now? Hey, Bob, saw you on the replay. Thanks for watching it. How can I help you get started? What questions can I answer for you now? Something like that allows Bob to feel cared about, and it lets him know that you were thinking of him. And he also knows that, hey, yep, I can watch the replay now. You send it to him. Great, Bob. I'm going to follow up with you in about an hour. Enjoy. And then when you follow up with him, it's not weird. He's expecting you to follow up. Plus, he admitted that he's watching it then. Okay. How to assume the sale. Love these 4 questions. Pick and choose which one makes most sense for you. Okay. When a person is ready to enroll, let's say Billy Bob's like, yep, I'm ready to enroll. I'm going to go to the gain level or whatever they're going to purchase. Okay. This is the direct enrollment link. Now, obviously, your direct enrollment link is going to look different than mine. The only thing that changes is right here. So if your username is billybobsmith.com, you're just going to use Billy Bob Smith, just your affiliate ID with GFU. That's it. But don't use mine, use yours. So if yours, for example, is your first last name, let's say your name is Billy Bob Smith, you'd go right here, you'd put in Billy Bob Smith, and then you would copy and paste this to the person wanting to enroll. Okay. So edit it. So it's obviously not mine. That's just the example. It's your affiliate ID when a person is ready for the direct enrollment link. Now, the direct enrollment link is also going to be the button underneath any of the funnels that you have, whether it's the live webinar replay, whether it's something like the all-in-one funnel. So you can tell them to go back there, or you can use this hack here. Just make sure to edit it to yours, not mine. Now, after you send Billy Bob the direct enrollment link, he's like, yep, I want to enroll gain for 6:30. And you're like, cool, here's the direct enrollment link. I love sending the direct enrollment link, and then I will follow it up with something like this. I'll be notified in my back office as soon as you hit submit, meaning as soon as he purchases. I'll then be in touch right here moments after to add you to all that you need instantly. Sound good? The reason I end that with a question is because I want them to respond back and say, yep, sounds great. Talk to you in a second. I want them to know that they're going to hear from me as soon as they hit submit, as soon as they purchase. If I don't set that expectation, sure, they might still enroll. And yes, I'll still communicate with them just like you would, right? But it's nice to know that they will hear from you. Okay, that's what a person needs. So use a variation of what's highlighted here if you choose. Now, asking for the sale. If you're not sure Billy Bob's ready to go, let's say he just watched the funnel, let's say you're communicating through the app, he's watching the replay, whatever it is, you're not sure if he's ready to enroll, but you want to find out, you can say one of these things here. Awesome, what time are you getting started today? Oh, I'm on the enrollment link now, right? Or, great, glad you watched it. Do you need the enrollment link now? What time are you opting in? What level are you coming in at today? What time are you enrolling? Or how soon are you getting started? Now, if you can feel some pushback in that conversation, like, oh, I watched the video, I'm just not sure, but they don't have any questions, then to bring up the questions or the concerns they have, you can say, what's stopping you from getting started today? Because then they can say, oh, I can't pay for it yet. I get paid Friday. Or, oh, I got to talk to my wife or whatever it is. Then you know what's stopping them. Now, obviously, don't say all 7 of these things. Pick and choose one based on what conversation you're having, based on the question you want to ask. Okay. Quick tips. I want you to think from the end result. Whether you're pushing the replay, you're marketing for the live training, you're marketing through something like the all-in-one funnel, no matter where you fall, I want you to think of the end result. If you want to attract higher quality sales, higher quality commissions, is your short form video content, are your responses back in social media, is your engagement post showing what it is you're after? Are you leading with it's $630 or it's $2,530? Or are you saying start a business for $130? Whatever type of end result you want is what your short form video content should be saying. Okay. Does your content match the conversations you're wanting to have? Same idea. Those 2 questions, take some inventory. Is what you're doing in short form videos, in the direct messaging, in the comment section, for how you're communicating all the things, is that reflecting what result you're after? Okay. And then down here, as you can see, I'm not going to read it verbatim, but obviously, as I said at the beginning, if ever this document changes based on what I'm sharing here, what you're hearing me say compared to what you then look at, the button underneath this video from the TFT training, if ever it changes or looks different, it's only because we're trying and doing everything that we can to implement something better. So right now, for example, we have 2 webinars per week starting in May. If that changes, goes up or down later, we have a different host, whatever it is, it's only for your benefit. So if ever it changes, just know that's okay. Okay. And then last, this playlist right here, this playlist, when you go to it, are continued short form video trainings alongside the DM formula. So you can see here for how to close more sales, for how to implement the right things in conversations. So this training in a quick nutshell is the thing that you can be doing, that you should be doing for how to converse, how to communicate, how to get to where you want to be with every person you communicate with. And these extra trainings here at the bottom of this document, again, it's a hyperlink. You'll want to click it and go. Those trainings are ones from Teachable Tuesday, which will only help increase how and what and why the DM formula works. So be sure to bookmark that. Go through these trainings as you wish. It'll only help you. Now, these ones here, which I'm not going to go over inside of this training because you guys can read, and that's a good thing. The FAQ, there's around 35 or 40 questions. All of these have answers for something you can either copy and paste in a question someone has, implement, edit it the way that you see fit. If I get feedback, as I do, for questions that are needed, people need explanation for something to say, for how to approach something, I am more than happy to add more. See, right now, at the time of this video, there are 39 questions, and I will be going through and typing what you can copy and paste back for something that someone asks. For right now, we have 16 uploaded, and that's on the 1st of May. As I go through and have more questions that you guys want answers to, I will put them in the DM formula doc right here, as you can see, from 16 to 35 or 40 or whatever that was. Now, as a recap, there's a rhyme and a reason for why there are so many people on the funnel team who are closing so many sales due to live webinars, due to replays, due to things like the all-in-one funnel. And it is because they are specifically and strategically implementing the DM formula for not just their short form video content, but for how they engage from comments, direct messages, texts directly to your phone, say being on TikTok, say an email, whatever it is. And as you implement what we just talked about inside of that document, that yes, will continue to be added to, the more you're going to close, the more you're going to have impact, the more you're going to make, and the more you're going to understand the confidence you have within yourself. So be sure to implement it in the best ways possible. Bookmark that playlist for continued help within the DM formula. because we teach it live all the time. And then be sure to implement everything that you see fit for the live trainings, the replays, the typical funnels like the all-in-one, and you being able to actually communicate effectively. Thank you for popping on this video. We'll see you on the next one.